What's going on, guys? Ted from Immersion here, and this time we're going to be talking all about villains and lairs and other interesting bounties and NPCs on this DM's Guild Spotlight. This is Savage Encounters, Villains and Lairs. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, stay tuned. Well, all right, let's jump over here to the DM's Guild. You can see here we are looking at villains and lairs, which I will be going into here in just a second. But you can see that there's a villains and lairs 2. There are several other savage encounter options for you available out there. I believe there's even a savage or villains and lairs 3, but it's currently listed as free. I don't know if that's only on Fantasy Grounds. But again, options. So what is Villains and Lairs? You can see right here, 5 stars over 31 ratings. Clearly a high quality product, something you're going to want to pick up. It's a best of Mithril seller as well. And this is put together by a whole list of folks. But those of you who are DM's Guild veterans will recognize a lot of the different names mixed in here. But expand your game with this collection of 56 NPCs of various challenge ratings, 13 of which include maps and details for their lairs. And these NPCs, add these NPCs as a side quest, a main villain, a one-shot, a bounty for easy money, or however else you wish. So, that's that. I think we're just going to dive into it. It is a $14.95 module, so it is a little more pricey. Almost the price of some print copies you can get, and I don't believe you can get this. This isn't an option to pick up in print, so it is only PDF, but I have it here. Full stop, this was provided to me as a review copy. That being said, these are still my opinions, and I wouldn't recommend or not recommend something to you just because I was given a copy. No other money exchanged hands. I was just given the thing for free to review. So, one, as you can see, this is 217 pages. So there is no way I'm going to go through this from front to back because we would be here for 3 or more hours. 2, it's a purchasable module, so it's $14.95, and I don't want to jip any of the many awesome creators, as you can see here, out of their chunk of the money from the purchase. So I'm only going to go over a few things. So let's scroll down to the table of contents, and we can talk a little bit about it. So the table of contents here isn't broken up in chapters per se. It's broken up by villain, basically, or NPC. And you can see there's a little index here, right? The asterisk means they have a lair, and the plus sign is they're a new NPC from the expansion, which is included in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over one bounty, maybe one NPC that comes with a magic item, and one NPC that comes with a lair, and that'll be it. And you can kind of just use that to get a flavor. But you can see there are a whole bunch, right? Human alien is a type here. There's a whole bunch of different stuff. Rakshasa. I do have a little point of fact. The Rakshasa's hands aren't reversed in the picture, at least as far as I could tell. My little pet peeve there. So, all right, about this supplement, how to use it, blah, blah, blah. The art. A lot of really cool custom art here. Excuse me. And then there are also the maps here as well. Editing layout, how the box text works. So here are the bounties, right? So there are 6 bounties here, and the way these are supposed to be written. And there's a little primer on it here, but basically, this is a wanted poster in some town. This is what they look like. It says it has a $sign. I assume these are meant to be gold coins, right? 3,000. It is a lot, though, right? For a goblin, 1,000 gold coins, but let's pick one that looks interesting. Let's go with, probably, we gotta go with the most expensive one here, this guy. Whose name escapes me at the moment here. So we can see them, they got stat blocks, they got art. So we're gonna go with Jarvis Seville, human, wanted for robbing taverns and stealing alchemical reagents. He's a charismatic swashbuckler who travels from port to port, earning money as security on merchant ships. He may have a bad reputation in the city, but ship captains and their crew regard Jarvis as an excellent resource. He's quite handy with his black powder pistol, which he acquired from a gnome tinker. No one knows what happened to the gnome or where Jarvis gets his seemingly endless supply of ammunition. So you can see here, he is basically a rogue in more or less here. He's challenge rating 3. He's got some decent proficiencies and skills, acrobatics, athletics, 17 AC, 25 hit points. Dash or disengage is a bonus action on his turn. Attacking from long range doesn't impose disadvantage on his pistol attacks, and he can ignore half and 3/4 cover. Essentially, he has sharpshooter of the feet. His AC includes his charisma mod, as he has suave defense. He can make 3 attacks, 1 with his pistol and 2 with his rapier. So we see a dagger here, just a standard dagger. His pistol has the loading feature, so that's why he can only make 1 attack with it. A D10 plus 4, it says he has 20 bullets. And if the target is a creature, must make a DC 12 con saving throw or knocked prone. And his rapier, a D8 plus 4. And he has parry. He can add 2 to his AC against 1 melee attack that would hit him. To do so, Jarvis must see the attacker and be wielding the weapon. Nothing crazy. You can obviously take this character and make them significantly larger in your own campaign. Here he's just kind of like a sort of a wanted security man, gun for hire, literally. But you could really blow this up and make him an overarching. He could be a villain. You could boost up his stats. He could be, an antagonist to the party. There's a lot of options you can have. And again, the other 5 bounties are relatively similar as well. So we're going to scroll through these folks. So the first one we're going to go over, because it has a magic item, is the first one here, Agrod the Mountain Slayer. And it also has the coolest magic item, so that's why I wanted to go over it. But this is the kind of quality you can expect from these NPCs, right? We have a whole long background about the character, right? Where they were born, how they kind of came to be who they are, what their current motives are. Here he's roaming the realms with his band, seeking glory and plunder. Long-term motives. His desire mirror his current motives. You can see what his flaws are. He enjoys hunting, plundering, and tomb raiding with his sons. They often wander from the Slayer's Fist to hunt or explore on their own. Excuse me. The Slayer's Fist is a warband of 20 cunning, powerful orc slayers, which is a stat block contained here. An Eye of Grumsh and 3 Orog sons. Orog's and Eye of Grumsh are contained in the monster manual. They travel light, keeping only with them what they can carry on their own backs, preferring to travel at night. They shelter where they can during the day. And we can look at his stats here, and we'll go to the Orc Slayer, right? It's nothing crazy. CR1 has aggressive and typical Orc feature. Does have Reckless as well. Can gain advantage, so like low-level Barbarian stats with Great Axe does a D12 plus 3. Or Javelin, only singular attack, but a singular attack with a decent enough strength here and, survivability with advantage could be pretty rough. And here is Agrod himself. 18 AC. He also has packed some serious magic gear. Challenge rating 8. Got strength, con, and dex saving throws, resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, slashing damage. He can move his speed towards a hostile creature he can see as a bonus action. He deals an extra D8 when he hits with a weapon. He has resistance to the damages we discussed, and he also can attack recklessly. He has 2 attacks with his Great Axe, which does a D12 plus 8 plus 1d8 slashing damage, or 2d12 plus 8 plus 1d8 when thrown. He has the Battle Cry, which he can do once a day. Each creature of his choice within 30 feet that can hear him has advantage on attack rolls until the start of his next turn. He can then make an attack as a bonus action. And his magic items, he wears a belt of Hill Giant Strength, adorned with several skulls of his victims, bracers of defense, and carries his Great Axe, which is Horde Breaker, which I love. Legendary Great Axe, but only works for a half-orc or orc, is a plus 3 Great Axe, has a thrown property with 20 normal range. 60 long range. Ugh. It does an extra D12 damage when you throw it. So it's a D12 normally does an extra on when you throw it, and it immediately flies back to your hand. Once per day, you can use an action to make a ranged attack targeting every creature of your choice within 60 feet of you. When you use this feature, the weapon's normal range extends to 60 feet, and you do not have disadvantage on attack rolls if an enemy is within 5 feet. Immediately after the attack, the weapon flies back to your hand. This thing is ridiculous. Every creature within 60 feet, and you just bing, 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 it breaks hordes, right? That's the whole nature of it. So that makes sense. So that was one of the NPCs. There's this. Not all of them have crazy legendary items and a bunch of other magic stuff, but some of them do have cool, unique magic items. So let's find one that has a lair. I'm going to scroll down till we find one. Probably should have looked that up ahead of time, but I didn't. So we're just going to go through and find one that has a lair. Okay, yeah. So this is Aurelia Singh, who was once an accomplished alchemist and is now basically this ooze that you see here. We're only here to really focus on her lair, but you can kind of get an idea of what happened. Experiments gone wrong, turned into an ooze, what her current motives are. Oh, and this is something I missed on the last one, but you can see she can be used as a menace, an employer, a merchant, or a villain. A lot of them have this like 1 to 3 to 4 options of what you could use them as. If you just want them to be an NPC or a merchant or a contact for the players, a fence. There's all kind of explanations about how you could use the NPCs. This one specifically is reference to Waterdeep. And here she is, ooze that she is, with her sleepy mist. And she can take the form of a human as an ooze, which is pretty cool. Okay. So let's check out her lair. Okay, so you can see here is the map detailing her whole lair. She's got 9 different locations within the lair itself. So, got some drainage gates into the sewers here. Then we have the corroded chamber. She also has pet dogs, dog oozes called labradoozes, which is also another reason I had to showcase this one, because labradoos. Can we just take a moment to appreciate that? Because it almost sounds like it could be a real dog in real life. I know like a labradoodle is a thing, but even a labradoos could be a mixture of 2 different dogs if you find the right breeds, in my mind. Anyway, a pack of 4 labradooses lair in this chamber. Their dogs turn to ooze hybrids and are driven by pain and confused instinct. 50% chance they will emerge and attack. The treasure in here is a ring of protection, a leather dog collar with a copper nameplate that reads Betsy, silver dagger, some fancy boots, and a gold wedding ring. We can see a sewage tunnel. A slithering tracker is another cool ooze. That's from Volo's Guide to Monsters. We've got just a clean room here. Subjects cell currently houses a gelatinous cube, which waits until someone enters the room before attempting to engulf them. There's an alchemical lab where she may be found with containment tubes. Let's see. The row of tubes contain a gray ooze. A rose-colored liquid that bubbles as though carbonated. 50%. A creature that drinks this potion has a 50% chance to experience the effects of a filter of love. Triggering when it sees an ooze-type creature. Oof. Or a wisdom saving throw and be frightened of the next creature it sees. Thick granite gray fog. It looks like it has bits of sand in it. Affected creature rolls a d6 if they drink it. They may be affected by a gaseous form spell or petrified, depending on what it is. And then the other rows have a red liquid, which is basically a healing potion. A milky white liquid, which is essentially an aging potion or a de-aging potion, depending on the roll. A crystal's clear liquid. The end of the creature's turn. Each space. If the creature is occupied. So it's basically a blink. The spell blink, but in a potion. They've got a workbench with some generic adventuring supplies and things you can get on it. An animal holding cell made of scrap wood. It holds several feral dogs and cats, as well as a few household pets. There is a gray ooze in the humanoid holding chamber, and 3 unnamed commoners in this cell. Unarmed. Their names are Otik, Valia, and Springer. We have the gray ooze, as we said, and then there's a green ooze. The ceiling is covered with green ooze of her own creation, which drops down onto any non-ooze creatures it senses below. And then we have her treasure pouch, or her treasure kind of hoard, which is amassing of gold, a fancy timepiece, just things that'll get you gold, some thieves' tools, and a silver flask with the name Mbeb engraved on it. And then here's the map. It's a sewer system, so this could be a map just for a generic sewer system mission for your players, or you could run this one. And the super adorable labradoos has typical ooziness, but has pack tactics, which makes it a little bit scarier. So anyway, guys, there's 217 pages there. There's a lot to go through and a lot to unpack. But I hope my little look at a bounty, an NPC that contains a magic item, and an NPC that has a lair gives you a little bit of flavor as to what's contained in this document, because there's just more of the same, more interesting, unique characters and creatures, and again, other unique magic items as well. So these could absolutely be something that you could build a campaign around, or several, take several of these and build a campaign out of it, or it could just be a one-shot, literally just a one-shot adventure that you run, or a one-off adventure that your party gets into. So let me know what you guys think. Do you have villains and lairs in your collection? Do you have some of the other Savage Encounter ones that you'd like me to do reviews on? Or are there ones you'd like me to do reviews on? If any of that is something you want to do, you can always reach out to me. Leave comments in the comments below. Hit me up on Twitter or Discord, any of our social media, and I will get back to you. We'll see if we can't get whatever next kind of Savage Encounters or otherwise DM's Guild product you'd like me to review. I will definitely do that. So, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.